I was blindsided, and I wanted to share because I was told my reaction was a little unhealthy. After I was played like some kind of fool, I wanted to understand why some women were so untrustworthy. My wife had shown me she had no loyalty, even though I did what I needed to keep her happy. Me and my wife got married 6 years ago, and we were in a good place from the beginning. I worked handling the accounts at my company, and she was a nurse when I met her. We rented a nice house and weren't in any real debt. We were good at managing our money, so spending wasn't a problem. We communicated easily, worked well as a team, and getting physical at night was easy because she was just gorgeous and kept her looks up always. Our family had got along well, and me and her brother Jacob was practically best friends. He worked as the custodian at the hospital she worked at, thanks to their mom, and we always looked out for her little brother. My wife was clearly an independent woman, and she could always think for herself. She always had a sense of confidence and demanded respect from me and Jacob. We didn't have kids, but I felt like if we did, she would be a good inspiration. But the problem with her was that she had toxic friends around her. The way they talked about each other made me feel like they were more like rivals than anything. They would talk about each other all week, but party together and claim they were sisters. Not only that, they would get into terrible arguments, especially when they were drunk. I can't count how many times they had falling out with each other. Then the next week, they would go out on girls' trip to be on vacation. I was told that girls secretly compete with each other, so I thought it was just typical. It could be annoying, but I just took the good for the bad. I just thought it was normal between the 5 of them. The affair happened when her friend Erica was about to get married. Before the marriage, it's normal to have their wild party, so my wife and her friends left that night to throw Erica the party they planned at the hotel. I knew they were going to be out all night, so I didn't bother waiting up for her. A couple of days after the wedding, I was getting ready to hop in the shower that night when I heard my phone ringing in the bedroom. At the time, I wasn't sure if that's what I heard, so I just hopped in the shower. When I came out of the shower, I saw I had 6 missed calls and they were from the same number. This was weird to me, so I didn't call the person back since I didn't know who this person was. When I was in my living room, the number called again, and even though I didn't know the number, I decided to pick up. When I answered, nobody answered me back. At first and all I could hear was a girl talking to a guy in the background. After saying hello 3 times, I just hung up. After that, they called again, and I immediately picked up the phone. This time the girl answered me back, and I realized it was one of my wife's friends. I asked her friend, let's just call her Jasmine, why she was calling me. She immediately started calling my wife names and said she cheated on me at the party. This had put a real fear in me, but I still said she didn't know what she was talking about. She said she did know and that she had recorded it as proof to show me. I asked her what she was talking about, and she told me everything. She said at Erica's party, they had hired some guys to come there and dance for everybody. Since my wife was extra friendly to one of the guys, he kept coming back to her, and he had crossed the line with her. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but at the same time I knew this kind of thing wasn't uncommon. After hearing me not say anything for a minute, Jasmine said, if I wanted the evidence, she would send it to my phone. I told her to send it to me, and she said to hang up while she got ready to send it. After about 5 minutes, she sent me 4 video files, and when I looked at them, I collapsed on my couch, seeing the proof. I called Jasmine back, and she asked me did I got it, and while being choked up, I said, I did get it. She started calling my wife names again, and told me she was sorry for how she acted. I asked her why she would do this to somebody she claimed was her sister, and she never gave me a direct answer. She just said my wife and her friends were a bunch of hypocrites and called them fake. I asked, How did she get my number? And she reminded me my wife called her from my phone, asking directions for her dinner party she had at a restaurant. She said she was done being their friend and said that Erica was doing bad things too. Jasmine said to talk to my wife about it, and I told her she was at another friend's house at the time, but I definitely was. After hanging up, I was falling to pieces. I knew I had to confront her. There were 4 full videos of my wife being with another guy. But after that, I didn't know what my life would be like and how she could do this to me. I never trusted these parties, but I didn't think it would happen to me. I don't even get invited to these things. When my wife got home, I confronted her as soon as she walked in the door. I asked her how she was doing, and she said she was tired but fine. I told her I never asked her how Erica's party was and did she have fun. She seemed caught off guard a little, but she said it was fine. I told her Jasmine said she had a fun time and that she even recorded her to show me later. She looked spooked and asked me what I was talking about, and I showed her the videos of her and the guy getting it on that night. First, her jaw dropped, then she screamed at what she saw. She begged me not to leave her and said Jasmine was doing this because my wife had replaced her with somebody else to be one of Erica's bridesmaids. She said she and Erica got into a big argument about it with her, and Erica uninvited her from the ceremony. When I heard this, I could kinda see why Jasmine was mad, but not to go this far though. It didn't matter to me because I told her I was getting a divorce, and that's exactly what I did. Through the whole divorce, both of our families wanted us to reconcile. I was told, even though she shouldn't have done it, it was a special night for them, and I wasn't supposed to have known. I told them that was supposed to be for the bride, and even if she was, I wouldn't stay with her. I couldn't believe my wife was doing this with this guy, especially in public. After finally getting divorced, I still couldn't leave the situation alone. I got in touch with other guys that dance and asked them about getting women. I even asked women. The women said they don't but know girls who did it for extra money. The guys I asked said they get girls all the time, especially the bride. One guy said when he started it wasn't like that at first, but the women started wanting it and it just became normal. When I told my friends this, they said it was unhealthy and I should stop talking to them. I don't know. I guess it was just how I was handling it at the time, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I just couldn't get those videos out of my head, especially when the guy knew she was being secretly recorded. Right now, my ex-wife lives in her own apartment close to her job somewhere. I used to see her family once in a while, and they still ask me to forgive her because of the circumstance, but I can't do it. I hate to admit it, but Jasmine was right when she said my ex-wife was a fake friend, but apparently her love was fake too. Now she doesn't regret it, I hear. Story number 2. Fiancé slept with her coworker. I got engaged 6 months after dating her for 3 years and just had to break it off last week. She works for a very large financial institution and is usually out of the house until late at night. I didn't think anything was going on because I understood the nature of her job. This was her routine for our whole engagement. I would say, a month ago, however, her behavior started to change. She was getting home really late at night, probably around midnight, and still getting up at 6:30 for work. I found this strange because there was no change in her job title, and in the past, she rarely had to stay that late for work. Also, when I did see her around the house, she seemed uninterested in talking and was glued to her phone. Again, this was very unusual behavior. I had no solid proof, but I started to grow suspicious. Finally, just a week ago, she came back again around midnight. I happened to still be up, and I just asked politely where she had been. I noticed right away she was drunk. The story was that her boss had her go to a late dinner, but it was full of holes, and at this point, I knew something was going on. After she went to bed, I looked in her phone and I found out she was texting her friend at work about going on dates, hiding stuff from me, and other shady things. In the morning, we had a huge argument where I wanted to know why she cheated on me. It came down to her being bored with our sex and wanting to be with other guys to make things more interesting. This was shocking and hurt me deeply. I asked her to leave, got the ring back, and cut ties completely. I'm not even sure how much of a loss I'll take from waiting this long to sell them. At least we won't have any legal difficulties going forward. I'm trying to look for any positives right now. The whole explanation of her wanting to cheat still upsets me. I never got a full explanation of why our sex was boring. I really don't understand why our sex wasn't good enough. I've studied the Kama Sutra and Tantra for a few years, and have many of my own techniques. Most of what I'm describing is very advanced. Usually, I can hit the G-spot when I mount from the back and take wide squats in, and I can frog from underneath while using my hips as well. I'm good with my fingers from playing guitar, plus my oral skills are developed. Long story short, this is something I've practiced. I don't know if this guy was better than me or what, but it's truly sickening to think she ruined our potential marriage over such an immature desire. I saw on her social media that now she's dating this new guy, and I wonder how long until she does the same to him. I'm starting to feel a little better, but I'm still processing everything. I feel a little crazy because I have nobody to talk to. If anyone has been cheated on like this before, hopefully you can shed some light on my situation.